Hey, it's Hazlet in my closet studio. And since I have this beautiful Cole Clark Fat Lady 1 series in my possession, I thought I would give you a little walkthrough and introduction to the Cole Clark brand. This particular model belongs to my friend Michael, who has graciously lent me to do this video. So, Cole Clark. Until I met my friend Michael, I'd never heard of these guys. So I don't know if you have. So this Cole Clark are a brand from Melbourne, Australia. And they were founded in 2001. Their big thing is the Spanish heel. Now, if you're like me, you've never heard of the Spanish heel. I had to look it up. In many acoustic guitars, like this one, the neck is glued to the body. Right here, that doesn't go through the body. It's just the body is one solid piece. The neck is bolted onto it and glued to the body. If you could look in there, you would see a bolt that goes through there, attaches the neck to the body. But the neck is a separate piece of wood. It doesn't go through the body. It's like it stops here outside the body, and then this piece is glued on there. That's how most acoustic guitars are made. Certainly most steel string acoustic guitars. The Spanish heel comes from nylon string guitars. I guess luthiers in Spain made it famous, hence the Spanish heel. So the difference is this piece of wood right here goes through past the body, and the body is glued into the slots in the heel. So the body is attached to the neck. So if you look inside this guitar, I don't know if you can see inside there, but you can see a block of wood inside the body, and that is a solid piece of this neck that goes right through into the body of the guitar. So most steel string guitars, they call it a dovetail connection, where the neck is slid into a block glued to the inside of the body. That's what I was trying to show you on the Ovation. The Ovation might be a little bit different than other wood guitars, but this one, it's that neck, that heel goes right through. It's a solid one piece. It's not slotted into another piece inside the guitar. It just is one solid piece. I hope that makes sense. Another thing about the construction of these guitars, they have a carved top and back, and they mostly use sustainable woods from a sustainable local Australian tone woods. That wasn't their policy back when they made this guitar. I don't know whether or not the Bunya was a sustainable wood when they made this guitar, but now they've since changed their policy so that they only use sustainable woods. Cole Clark was Bradley Clark and Adam Cole. They founded the company, but only 3 years later, 2004, Adam Cole left. And then in 2010, Bradley Clark left. I don't know what happened there, but this is typical of startup companies. These guys were founded by joint venture investors, and whenever you start a company with funds from investors, generally speaking, they tend to take a big chunk of the company and have a say in how things go down. So I don't know exactly what happened with these guys, but often what happens is the investors often end up owning more shares than the founders, and eventually the founders are just voted out by the investors or the investors' proxies. So it would be interesting to know what the circumstances were around their departures, and if you know it, let me know. I think that would be interesting to find out. But that's what typically happens. Okay, this is the Fat Lady 1. It's a 1 series. If you look inside there, you see FL-1 or FL1. There's no dash. FL1. And this is made with a Bunya top. So the soundboard is Bunya. I've never seen a Bunya tree, but this is the wood from that tree. The sides, the back, and the neck are all Queensland maple. The fretboard is rosewood. The tuners are Grover. And the nut and the bridge are both Graphtec Tusk. That's T-U-S-Q, Tusk. I don't know what that is, but some kind of proprietary non-bone synthetic material that probably sounds good if you drop it or something. Just ask Paul Reed Smith. Now, this particular guitar, you can't tell at all because it's been expertly restored and looks brand new. But my friend was able to pick it up for a smoking deal because it had a crack right here. The top was cracked. The bunya was cracked real bad. And yeah, you can't even tell. He had it fixed, so there's a splint inside there, and it's all glued and perfect. That probably affects the sound a little bit, but I've never heard a Cole Clark besides this one, so I couldn't tell you what difference it makes. And it still sounds amazing, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's the character this particular guitar has. So let's hear what it sounds like. Now, I played it in the last video I did when I did just a little comparison to the Ovation. So I'm not going to play the same songs. I'll play some different songs for you. I'll do a little Blackbird and one of my own songs. This song is a little more, I'll give you a little more aggressive strumming to hear what it sounds like when you push it a little bit. Something a little more in between. So there you have it. I didn't talk too much about the setup this time. It's the same setup that I used in the last video with the Ovation. It's a Rode K2, also from Australia. So a little big Australian representation here. A Rode K2 in the figure 8 configuration on top in a mid-side stereo setup with a C1 Studio Projects condenser mic in cardioid pattern on the bottom there. And those are just going through some plain Jane preamps into my computer recorded in Cubase. All I did is have the sound amplified a little bit. There's no color, there's no EQing or anything like that, and no dynamic processing. So I gotta tell you, to play it, it feels great. It just feels fantastic. And the first time I touched it, I played it, it kind of shocked me. I just wasn't expecting it to sound the way that it did. I'm not really sure why, but it just has a sound, kind of a big sound that I wasn't expecting, and it is super light. It's one of the lightest acoustic guitars I've ever touched in my life, and that's their thing. They make light, solid, sturdy guitars with the Spanish heel. Yeah, and one of the nice things about the Spanish heel is that it just is not affected so much by humidity, whereas other acoustic guitars with that dovetail construction can really run into issues because you have two different woods in the joint that will react differently, and the grain is going opposite directions. And when they swell or shrink, you can really have problems. So the Spanish heel, it's a cool thing. Price, that's a $1,600 guitar. Brand new. I'm not going to tell you what my buddy got it for, but it was a great deal, and he had to fix it, but he got a good deal on that thing. But $1,600 for a fat lady, and that's the Dreadnought. They only go up from there, but I can tell you from playing it and feeling it, hearing it, it plays and sounds like a $1,600 guitar. So it's, in my opinion, it's worth it for sure. So a big thanks to my friend Mike for lending me his beautiful guitar. And also, I had it for a couple of weeks because I've been trying to get around to shooting this video, and life has been pretty crazy, and he's been very patient. And so, big thanks to Mike. I really appreciate it. I know how much he loves this guitar, and letting me hold on to it for a bit longer than he thought I was going to. He's a great friend. The tone is exceptional. The craftsmanship is outstanding. But I want to know what you think, so throw me down some comments. Let me know how it sounded to your ear, and if you know Cole Clark and you love them, let me know. If you thought it was garbage, just flame me in the comments. I love that. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content, then like the video. If you want to know when I release new content, then hit the subscribe button. I'm out like trout.